circle where we elevate. Nikki, Kurt, and Angel set the record straight. Open conversations every day we relate. No negativity, just a positive state. Finding good vibes every story we share. Support each other, show we truly care. In this community, love is always there. Through the highs and lows, we're a team, we swear. In your circle we rise and fly. No drama, just love, we reach the sky. Support and shine, keep the vibe alive. In your circle together we thrive. Open minds, open hearts, that's the way we roll. Cheering for each other, that's our ultimate goal. Embrace new ideas, let creativity unfold. In the circle every story told is gold. Positivity reigns, we chase the light. Through the good, the bad, we keep it tight. No room for drama, keep the vision bright. In your circle, we're soaring to new heights.
Gray Rider Reptiles offers genetic shed testing on 30 different ball python morphs, including puzzle, sunset, and clown. Visit shedtesting.com for your shed testing needs and for fast, reliable service.
Good afternoon, everybody. We're here on this fine Saturday, and we're sponsored with this episode by Red Onion Reptiles. Just kidding. We just love Bear. He didn't sponsor us. We just like to give him a hard time and wear his cool sweatshirt.
I was going to say, but he did send us some cool swag. So
we are here this Saturday with Angel Caro, Kurt, and myself. And we have the wonderful Craig Hansen of Bashcoder Reptiles and Billy Rose from Mutation Creation to talk about networking etiquette, the do's and the don'ts. Let's bring them out. Ta-da.
What's going on?
Welcome, guys.
Welcome.
We're so happy to have you here.
Well, thank you. Happy to be here.
Good to be here.
Now Angel can get started.
Oh,
You look official, Angel.
Angel.
He's been waiting for this moment.
You know what happens? We start like talking before we come, and I have to stop myself because then we start rolling, and then it's bad. So we were talking about etiquette. We were talking about network and things like that. All I was gonna say was when you networking is. It's a funny thing, and if you remember, if you go back as far as some of us do in the hobby, networking only really happened at shows. That's the only place to really network if you networked at all. It was at a show. Maybe you bumped into somebody at a pet shop. Like it was different networking. Now it's all social media. It's all social media for the most part. Yes, absolutely, it shows, but social media, and then sometimes through social media we'll set up a meet at a show. And you meet everybody there. So, that's there's networking. It's different. It's just different. What about you guys?
Well, what got us thinking about networking etiquette is we've had a few messages in the last few weeks where people will message us that we don't really know, that we would probably like to build a relationship with, but we don't know them yet. And then they just send us something and ask us to reshare it.
Yeah.
That's not really etiquette.
I mean, it happens quite a bit.
Yes.
And I do understand somebody reaching out. Like, it's better to do something and, hear the word no than not ask, always assume. Fundraisers. I mean, you've seen our community. Our community's strong.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that something goes on. There's a sort of a donation here or, something that everybody goes and it's like, can you share this? Can you share this? And it's good. And sometimes I feel bad not to, but sometimes I don't want to, or I can't, because once you start doing it, and this happens a lot, you share one and then someone else asks you to do it and you don't. And then I'm the bad guy. If I start doing it, then I'd have requests every hour. And then, it's tough, and when people reach out to you, I still think they should, but they shouldn't get upset if somebody doesn't want to.
For sure. And I think a lot of it has to do with sometimes it's, man, I'm not sure I want my brand associated with this video. And you were talking about off brand, and that's really what it means to be off brand, is if someone will ask me to share something that's really controversial or a real hot button topic, and I'm kind of like, well, maybe not the kind of thing I want to lend my voice to. But oftentimes it's just because I don't know them. And I think, there's a lot of there's a lot of relationship building that can happen, that can make you feel more comfortable engaging with people in that way.
Agreed. And I think that that's also part of, like this whole trust build friendship network thing, because especially now it's really tough when you have to really, I don't want to say you have to be careful who you do things that are associated with. So we're all here for the same goal, hopefully we're all here,
Yep.
trying to do the same thing, and and it would be good for people to work together. But at the same time, and not having the same brand and not having the same flavor. Maybe you could drop like, oh, hey, check this guy's stuff out here and there. Not everybody can really work together in certain ways, even though we have the same goals and likes and all of these things. But I think on the other hand too, you have to also pick up on when you're not really, like, this isn't working. Like, okay, all right, this isn't working. So maybe find a different avenue. So that's hard for some people too. And I think some people feel, or they get offended because they're like, I keep asking, or I keep reaching out, or I'm on every live, say hi every live, and no one ever says hi to me. Or I think it's to people too sometimes.
I think the very best way to get someone to share your content is for you to make shareable content. That's like the very best way. Like, if your goal is to get shared, then do something that people are going to agree with so hard that they're like, man, I got to share this. That's the number one way.
Yeah, like, I'm not sharing your fucking feeding video, live feeding video.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
And that's another thing too, is I've done that to several people that I know that are starting out. Because if you notice, most people that share their feeding videos are new people. And one of the reasons why they do that is because their likes, their views go up. But it's not necessarily the views that you want, especially from the people that are watching it. If I want to see a live feeding video, I can just do it in live stream with my own facility. I don't need to see it, and it's not good for it. But when I see new people starting, they have like 108 followers, or under 1,000, I'll reach out and a private message them. Hey, just to let you know, these are the reasons why, we shouldn't be posting these type of videos, and this and this and this. And then sometimes they're like, oh, thank you very much. And then other times they put four more up. It's just like, okay, I'm trying to help them, and people will do what they want. But those types of videos, I won't post or repost. Anything with animal cruelty, I won't really share or repost. If it's something that's educational, of course, I'd like to share, or, maybe use it not on a mainstream platform, but maybe something like a Patreon, where I think it's good to put it out there, but to certain people's, eyes,
It's tough too when we've had certain things happen in our industry where for a reason they want to take certain, the animal, you can't breed wolf python, these animals, or so on. And you see it on USARK. There'll be something going on. It's really big. It's like a big thing, and they're going to go to court because they want to change so much. That's wrong. That's the worst time to post feeding videos. Don't post feeding videos when they're for ammo to shut us down for whatever reason. So that it is best, just don't do it. Just, you know what I mean? Like, and I remember that time there was so many feeding videos, and I was like, oh my god, this is bad. Like, this is so bad.
Yeah, I remember there was a time where it's like I'd be going through my posts, and it's like every second or third one, it's like, what the hell's going on? Like, If
I mean, I agree. It's fascinating. It's fascinating. It is absolutely fascinating. It's fascinating, but sometimes you got to kind of look around and say, maybe this isn't the right. Put this out.
Yeah, and the thing is, if that's all your content's about, you're not. I mean, you're gonna lose a lot of people's interest fast. Like Bear said, once you've seen it a few times, it's lost its thrill. It's just, it's not the same, and that's why content is so important.
Mhm.
And a lot of people think content is just high-end snakes. Oh, it has to be something crazy. There's a lot of stuff out there, racking, the way you do things, just a pose or something silly or something that happened. And one thing that I've noticed is a lot of people, there's no face to the brand. Even though we're going
So,
off topic.
so the maniacal laughter you hear in the background is
Can you hear it?
It's the Halloween setup at the Macomber house.
Oh my gosh.
It's
It just keeps
hilarious.
going off. I told you I turned
That's
off the
on the
microphone a
outside.
second ago. It's outside on the porch, way back there. But the microphone is so good because Craig helped us set up our system. You
It's all
can
your
hear
fault,
it.
Craig.
It's
all
my
Craig.
fault.
In a good way. I had to turn off the microphone a second ago because you guys can hear me if I whisper. Turn off the microphone and say, should I go out there and
So
turn
the
the thing
answer
around?
is
Yes, I'll
probably.
go out and turn it around. My question before I go out and turn it around is, for the people who are just starting out, what are your best tips for helping them get started in networking when they just have their little baby account with nothing going on yet? Now I'm going to go turn around the thing on the porch.
This episode is brought to you by Spirit Halloween.
Right.
Exactly.
Thorin would be so happy.
Yes.
Halloween.
Good. I
You're
will
scared.
post a picture on Instagram of our creepy porch that I have nothing to do with because it's
Oh my
terrifying.
gosh. It's awesome. I think that probably the best way is to get in a community. And the best way to get started is to get in a community with like-minded people and follow everybody in that group. Like join a Patreon like Billy's or someone else's. Join a Patreon where you can find like a home, where you have a group of people that's sort of a built-in audience, and you follow them, and they'll all follow you, and get to know people and build goodwill. And once you start telling your story in person to people, and once people get to know you, they'll see your posts in a different context. They'll see it in a different light. They'll say, oh, I understand why they just posted this clutch. They've been struggling with this animal for years. And man, I'm really excited about that. I want to share this, and in the context of a relationship, even, it starts kind of at the surface, but some of my best friends now are people I met through Billy's Patreon, And
Yeah, I mean, it's been crazy the amount of networking, and not only that, like I truly think it's like the top 2 tiers, especially, man, we're family. It's just it's crazy. We're all there for each other emotionally, for support. When James had the problem with the rats, there were so many people involved, and vice versa, and networking. You need to network with people that follow your same beliefs or your same, work ethic. If you're doing something top notch, you don't want to be around people that are doing it half-assed. You just got to find that fit. And I really think that, especially with new people getting in, don't concentrate on these likes or the followers. My old Instagram account, like, man, I was getting up to 100,000, and then it got hijacked, and I'm like, start over, and
I remember that.
yeah, it was crazy. Like, all that work, 4 or 5 years of work, and hey, guess what? You know what? You want it that bad, guys? Keep it. And I had to do that, and people were sitting there trying to use my name to sell animals to, that's not me, guys. Don't send your money to these people. And it's just crazy, but people want everything now. And I get it. It's don't get caught up in, oh, I only have 350 likes or followers. I want to get to 5,000. It'll get there as long as you're putting the work in and you're giving them content. And that's the thing. It's content, and content on a regular basis. And I'm guilty of this too. I mean, I don't even know when the last time I put a post. It's 2 or 3 here and then nothing for a month, or it doesn't work that way, guys. And I know this, and I'm the one telling this on my Patreon. I've said it many times, yet here I am not doing any of it, right? So you need to be consistent. If you can't post once a day, then don't try to post once a day. If you can only post once a week, then do that consistently, and it will grow. And people think networking means, oh, I got to be on all the platforms. And I hear this quite a bit. Oh, I got to do this. I got to have this. I got to do a YouTube. Well, if you're suffering and struggling with Instagram, YouTube is a whole different scenario.
Boy, isn't that right?
Man, YouTube, you got to work. You got to do this. It's so much. And you're not going to get any gratification with watching your numbers or subscribers grow in that field. Stick with Instagram, get used to it. You don't have to try to be and network on every platform. Get good at one, grow, take better pictures, and like Craig said, get involved in a group. Whether it's a Patreon, whether it's one of the weekly or sometimes daily YouTube or not Patreon,
live streams,
Instagram lives, and there's a slew of people that are there to support. Some are big keepers, some are mid keepers, and some are just new. Some people go on it. I have so many people on my channel, my content that come on, and they're not even snake keepers. They just want to, support or see me go into a rant. But, there's so many people that are there, and they're commenting and supporting each other. And hey, what's your name? I'll follow you. And that's the best way. Do it slowly, and it will eventually get bigger. But if you're not putting the work in and putting content out, why are people following you?
Yeah, with that being said, too, thinking of YouTube, even just becoming someone's paid channel subscriber, channel member, because there are lots of Instagram chat groups that go off of those too. You can't afford a Patreon. Those are just a couple dollars a month.
That's true.
I hadn't thought about that.
If you can, if you're getting in, and if you can, I think joining a Patreon is great. Great idea. If you really have literally nobody else to talk to, you really just need that guidance or people to talk to. And on the other hand, if you're really interested but you kind of don't have the funds and you have finances to really join, go to shows. Just go to as many, just try to go to shows and talk to people, and that's kind of the best way to network, is to really do that and really talk to people there, and just like you said, the lives, get in the live, just talk to people in the chat, ask questions. You'd be surprised how many people will jump and
not only that, even like Angel said, if you're in a live stream, okay, and I know this on my Patreon when I have my Q&As every second Sunday. Just because you go on and you don't answer a question or ask a question doesn't mean you can't learn anything. I've had so many people go on and learn just by sitting back and listening to what other people ask. I remember maybe about 2 or 3 years ago, someone's like, oh, I got this spot nose clown. I think it was maybe even a Batman. I'm going to put it to all my pied stuff because I want to make combo, Batman pieds. And it's like, well, you realize spot nose and pied makes an all white snake, or a very, very high white snake. What do you mean? It's like, well, look, it's like, oh, I didn't know that. And then in the comments, people never asked that, but I didn't know that. Really? Is that really true? Oh my God. Well, there goes my breeding plants. I got to change this. So just by someone else asking a question and you being present and listening to what's going on, you can realize or get something can pop out that you didn't even know that could save you from making a mistake. Right?
You can learn even the slightest little thing, the tiniest little thing. They could be talking about rats and how to mitigate smell. And then you find out about these amazing giant carbon canister filters.
Yes.
Oh my God, these things I didn't know it existed. I have a couple of them. They're great.
That's because you don't grow weed, Angel.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
You know what?
I mean, green tea.
a lot of the stuff that I use, a lot of the stuff that I use, for my business, it comes from a weed supply store, grow up stores. The when I used to use the vermiculite, that came from there. The fans, the carbon filters, exhaust systems. Like it's funny. I mean,
See, but that's a funny thing. That's a funny thing about what we do, and I feel fortunate having seen the growth. Whereas back then you got fish tanks and regular light bulbs for heat and whatever you could find to try to do whatever you were trying to do. Now we have industries that are dedicated to giving us the best products for these animals and people
and
making
continuing
products,
to research as well. It's
Yeah,
just going to get better and better.
It's research. It's paying attention. It's having these animals. And you know what? I want this, but I can't find it. I'm gonna myself, or I'm gonna reach out to somebody who does manufacturing something. That to me, that's also part of growth and networking. Because I have an idea, but you got a friend who's a woodworker, and you're like, man, could you make this for me? And that's how it starts.
I think one of the things when you're networking, you can sort of smell it all over somebody if they're like, "Hey, I'm Craig. What can you do for me?" There's
Right.
and so I really think that shows are a great place to network with people. If you're talking about social networking, I think one of the weakest ways to get followers is actually follow spam, where you follow 3,000 people and hope that they follow you back. Because what ends up happening is you're stuck with all these people. It's really hard to unfollow people. It's really hard to find out who followed you back, first of all. And then to unfollow all those people, it can take weeks, months to do that. And what's really required is a little patience, and definitely follow people that you really like and hope they follow you back. And one of the things you can do is share their stuff. If you agree with it, share their stuff. And if somebody shares something mine, I always follow them back. So there's certain things you can do to be a help and not have to be the one needing the help.
Yeah. And another thing as far as etiquette, don't message people saying follow for follow. Like I don't even go and look like you know what? It's just almost like done. I like to follow people because they're posting and they have something, whether my rule, and I've broken my rule, it's at least 10 or more posts. I don't want to follow someone that has 2 posts. Why am I following someone that's not posting? And it has to be something that I like to see. And I think a lot of people too, to grow your network, if you're putting your business, your personal stuff, your political views, your religious views, your guns, your cars, and everything else that you like into one, I only want to see certain things, and I don't want to scroll. Maybe open up separate accounts. Because I don't mind seeing the odd food or the odd trip or the odd, something different, but I don't want to sit there and go, okay, what account is this? And what am I looking on? Oh, now I'm into, I don't want to get lost, because I do a good enough job on my own without getting lost in someone else's space.
I want to look at your food. Yeah, I said it. I don't care.
Once in a while, it's okay.
And that's
Another
a
strange
good one, Bear.
Sorry. Another strange thing I found, that it's not so strange, but Billy couldn't do this because it would be too time consuming, and you're too big, Billy. We're proud of you. But us little guys, when people follow us, we can write back and say thanks for following us. People really like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of the strange
And
things.
that opens it up to actually have a conversation with the people and learn about them more than just what they have on their page.
Yes.
Yeah. And another thing I think is good too, and it's worked really well for me over the years. if you don't have content or you're small and you see something that's amazing, repost it and share it.
Mm-hmm.
You're
Yeah.
reposting someone else's amazing content, and you might not have a big following, but it does help. And it gets you into that mood to where, you know, when you start getting bigger, you're already doing that. You're already used to sharing other people's great stuff, or hey, congratulations, or, you know, tagging people, getting involved in some of these things, like tag your top 5 breeders, or top your, you know, post this, and it sort of goes viral, like the one that's just been going around now, which they used to be, you know, when COVID, there used to be a lot more of those going around.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely share stuff and use other people's content to share and like people's stuff too. Because if
Mhm.
you're just expecting people to like your stuff and follow you, and you're not doing any of that yourself, you know, what goes around comes around. And I would
Also,
get in that habit.
comment, drop a comment. It's nice. Oh, that's really pretty. Congratulations. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, I missed here. I tried. Like little. I don't do it a lot, but every now and then I'll catch something. I'm like, oh, I gotta write to this. Like that's cool. Like,
Yep.
you know, and like be genuine. Like if you really genuinely saw something that was cool, shoot them a message. Or if maybe you have a question, you're like, hey man, where'd the book? I see it in the back right there. Where'd you get that from? Like, I don't know. Just it can start. You never know.
Yeah.
You can make shout out reels too.
Mhm.
I don't know anybody who does that, but people really like those.
They do.
People like
Some of them are-
recognition.
There've been some viral ones that have been really effective. Like it's funny. I didn't think I normally don't do those where someone will send a template and then I, you know, do the same template and then follow 5 people and all that. But I did one recently and I got some really good follows and from people I'm really interested to follow back. And so, you know, some of those things work. I do think that the key is to have content. Like Billy said, if especially the follow for follow doesn't work if you don't have content, because I don't know if it's if you're just a logo designer and you start 2 posts as a reptile breeder and then you switch over to logo designer, you know, there's a lot of those tricks that people do. I don't know if you're really the account holder. If there's only 2 pictures, I don't know if it's a counterfeit account or something, you know. Have the longer history you have on your wall, the more you can sort of inspire confidence in a follow back.
It's very true. Otherwise, you're getting pet people that have sell dog bandanas and say that you'd be a great option. Do you guys get those?
Yes.
I'm sure you get a ton of
Yeah, I
them.
get weird
I'm like,
stuff
yeah,
like
my
that.
snakes would do really well wearing those dog bandanas.
Mhm.
They look real good.
I've gotten like what was it like? They're like designer bags, and I'm like, what if my account makes you think I have anything to designer bags fashion at all, man? Look at me. No.
Yeah.
No.
I get a
You
lot
probably
of
wanna-
those, especially like for YouTube, and because I have such high, I guess interact. What's that word? What's the word I'm looking for, Craig? Interaction ratio or
Engagement.
Engagement. Thank you.
Yeah.
I get a high engagement, or I used to when I used to post. Like I've been slacking so bad. I got to get fucking on it. I'm working on it. So I've got stuff like, hey, I've got a video game that we're trying to launch, and we think your brand would be great. I'm like, okay. I've had Febreze. I've had perfume companies, jewelry, clothing. I'm like, hell no. Like, I'm not going to sell out my brand to make some money. Hi, guys. Febreze. It's so great. I spray it all over my snake room. No, I'm not selling shit myself out of my brand to make some extra money for a dinger.
Spray
Hey,
your
guys,
cocoa.
when I'm not cleaning
spray
rats.
the cocoa and then put it in.
Yeah, when I'm not cleaning rats, when I'm not cleaning snakes, when I'm not breeding, when I'm not on social media, I'm playing this video game. Here it is. Like, it's never going to happen for me. But you see a lot of that kind of stuff, like people, and like Angel said, you don't know if they're real or not. There's so many scammers. It's just, it's nuts. But the more you're engaged, the more engagement you get, more of these people will come out. I get at least one or two people that are asking me if I need a logo. Have you not looked at my profile? How many logos do I got now? It's everywhere. Do you think I fucking need another one? Like,
Yeah.
do your homework, guys. Like, this guy won't fuck with me, so I ain't gonna even bother. Like, waste your time on someone else that,
So I have a question though. Like, do you think, and in a networking, in the networking mindset, do you think like the hashtags and tagging people beneath is like a really good way to do it as well, or something you should throw in, or does it not work? Like, I don't know what's going on with hashtags nowadays. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't.
it used to. I mean, I built all my old platform of Instagram using, snakes of Instagram, reptiles of IG, snakes of IG, ball pythons, breeder, all my quality in, quality out, invest in the best, hatching your passion, mutation creation, all that stuff. And I would do that, and I would basically have it pretty much all under every post. And I would change maybe 4 or 5 words of what it was: freeway, pastel, hatchling, and then everything else would be copy and pasted. And I think that worked, but that was way before Reels. So I don't know if doing all the hashtags now and not Reels, I don't really know what the algorithm looks for. I'm talking with a few social media managers. I just haven't found the right fit. I do have a videographer now that is actually going to be doing all my video editing. So that's coming. But I don't know what you have to do. But if I would rather put stuff up than not have it and assume that you don't need it. I mean, it's not going to hurt to copy and paste it, whether it works or not, because if it does work and you're not putting it, then it's not working for you. So,
in my experience, when I don't use those kinds of broader hashtags that people subscribe to, I don't get outside of my network. I don't get outside of my followers, and until the sharing starts happening, then I get outside of my followers. But when you look at insights and it tells you whether how many of your followers see it and how many other people see it, and if you want to grow your network, you want other people to see it other than the people that follow you. And if I don't use those hashtags, I don't get that. But also, it rolls it out to my followers more slowly when I do use hashtags, it seems like. So it's a bit of a, kind of give and take with those methods.
I also think another key to networking is something that Craig does really well, and that's having your video quality and your sound quality be really good, because you also don't want to have reels or videos where you sound awful or look awful.
We've all seen those videos where somebody is standing in the middle of a windstorm trying to talk to you.
Yeah.
That doesn't work very good.
Background noise kills you.
Yeah.
We were going to talk about do's and don'ts. I think one of the don'ts is don't talk shit about people. Like, if you want to build community, there's some people that just like drama and they like to talk shit about people, and those people have a very difficult time building community, because you're constantly dividing people. And the best way to be someone that builds a network is to be not that way, to be good to people and to be giving to people. And so the more you can invest in other people, the more that's just karma,
Yeah, no, it's very good. I mean, I believe that anything you can do in a positive light, share somebody, just wear a shirt, Exotics, Kevin and Whitney, everything we do, the hats, the shirts, stickers, stuff behind, anything like that gives somebody a boost, and it helps. And what I like is seeing other people duplicate it, and share other people. And it's just it's a nice thing when someone gets in this community that's starting out, and people that they don't know or just barely know are starting, hey, I followed you, and sharing stuff. Because it's great when somebody, you make a post and somebody that is ahead of you recognizes you. It makes you feel good. And if you can keep
Yeah.
doing that and it trickles down, it doesn't hurt to be nice.
Here I thought Craig was going to say, don't be a hemipene.
Don't be a hemipene. Yeah.
That's what I was waiting for. I thought
waiting for
that
the
long
shirts.
pause.
I'm waiting for those shirts.
They're coming. The Don't Be a Hemipene shirts are coming.
Yeah.
But you're right though when it comes to like the negativity. I think you get like a small group of people that might be there with you being negative too. But when it comes to it, the way things are now, like you really can't be like that, man. You got to be real like try to be as positive as you can. It's tough. We had talked about it before how some people get upset because they feel that they show up for all the things but nobody's sharing their stuff for whatever reason, and that can be frustrating. It can definitely be frustrating. But it's hard, and this is coming from me, super introverted. I don't reach out. I try, but when I'm at a show, it's a different person. But at home, for me to do that or to reach out, it was hard. But I got these two over here that I don't have a choice anymore. So here I am.
That's right.
But I'm happy to be. I'm happy to be here. I'm in great company. So the networking thing is something that I'm working on. So if you want to talk about somebody who's been around a long time, that's me, and I need to network better. So I'm probably a good candidate for all of these as well.
Yeah, and I mean, see how that's the thing. You've been doing this for so long, and you need to network better. I was networking like I was like in everyone's face, and now I'm like, no YouTube, none of this. It's like, so no matter where you are, you can always be better. Put more work in, and whether you're at the top or you're just starting, everyone's got to continue to work. You got to do it. It's not like, if I don't do another YouTube video for another year or two, man, I'm going to have so many people hate me. So you got to keep putting the work in. You got to keep doing it. So it's not something you start and just, I got to put the work in now and it will just keep going itself. No, you got to continue to work. You got to continue to do this. And you got to do it also when it works for you. Like for myself, I took a break from the live stream, the podcast for over a year, just because I had too many other things going on. And, I just felt for me personally, it was something to do. And now with the YouTube, it's starting to come back as now I feel, it's proper time to bring it back. Don't do all this stuff because you feel you have to, because it has a toll on you. You really want to do things that works in your schedule, that you feel comfortable doing. And number one, you want to do. And like you said, Angel, there's a lot of stuff that you should do. And when you find the time or want to do it, you'll find that time and get it done, and you'll be happy that you did it, because, you're not having people, well, Craig, do reels. Craig. We bullied him into doing them, but I'm glad we did. It's true. Amazing. Yeah, we all bullied you to do it. Like, Kurt, Nikki, we bullied him into doing it. But
yeah, it was a really big twist. We had to twist that arm.
We did. But, when you do find the time to start doing that, Angel, when it's right for you and you start doing more, you'll be like, wow, I'm glad I did it. But when you feel forced to do it, it's like, it's, you want it to be nice and easy and true. And when you want to do it. And when you do that, I think it'll go better and it'll be more natural, and you'll be happy to do it. And then when you see how it works, and it's like, you'll put more time and energy in it because it's working for you.
Absolutely, and that's something I see with a lot of people's growth in general. Like I see the growth, you know, I see the growth, and having people that are supportive. Again, this goes back to community. This goes back to networking. This goes back to talking to people, meeting them. Um, your friends will say, "Hey, you need some help. Your shit
Yeah.
is," and it's okay. Like, take the criticism. I take criticism. Tell me what I need to do. You know, I know that I'm not doing X, Y, Z. Okay, so I'm trying better. You know, I don't mind the criticism, and then help. And I've reached out and I've asked them for help, and feel better about it. You know, but that's the thing. Get into the community, make some and start talking to people, feel comfortable, find the people that you feel comfortable with, work with people, you can help each other out, and you just continue to grow. You don't have to have 900 animals. You don't have to, you can have a collection
That's
of
right.
20 animals and be super happy and
Yep.
super happy and be
Yep.
making amazing shit too. You don't
Yep.
have a giant facility of craziness unless that's what you want. Do what you do it. I feel like do what you want. Don't do what you think you want, like, or you think you should.
Or what people tell you should have. That's
Right.
the
Yes.
worst fucking thing.
That is the worst.
And
That's
that's
the
another thing
fucking
too.
worst.
In the hobby, like, a lot of people want to get what they think is the best of the best of the best of the best, and then they keep going. And yet we've been proven time again. Sometimes if you get that cheap ass snake, that cheap ass like more for Gene, what he's been messing with, and then you start messing with it,
Yeah.
and all of it's done something different that nobody else has done. So now you have
But
your
that takes
little
work,
circle of
man.
friends, and you start working it.
But that takes work. And the thing is the people that put in the work are the ones that create amazing things that everybody overlooks because they didn't put in the time. You know, so, you know, when you put time and effort into something, you hope something comes out of it. You might put years into something and it's like, it just didn't really work, but you'll know not to. But I'd rather be one of those people that puts the work in and find out, because it's something that, especially with genes that you like, you should be making stuff that you want to see and be happy with. And I think a lot of people are making stuff because the market is accepting it or talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're just going to sit there and do stuff what the market wants, you're really not enjoying because
Yeah, it's
where's
just
the
keep it's catch
satisfaction?
up time, catch up all the time, and then you're not really enjoying anything. And that's why I think it's okay if you really have a goal, like you really want to make that thing that's popular. That's cool, but you know, you should also have your thing, and even if it's something that's not super popular, like again, you'd like it, work, like that's fine. It's not that big a deal, because I guarantee if you like it, somebody else does, or a lot of other people do. It's all right. And that, again, there's your network, there's your group, there's your circle of people, because
You know
have
what
this one
sucks
common
also?
interest.
So Angel, you're in this boat. Same with me. I want to get back and start, you know, pumping my Instagram and coming back with YouTube. And you're sitting there and like, wow, guys like Bashcoder, how do I get my reels to compare to this guy's? You know, so these new guys are setting the bar so damn high. You know, it's like, man, I really got to step my game up. And you know, now videos, you know, some of the video qualities that are being made, like, you know, Leviathan, man.
Leviathan.
Like, I'm afraid to put a new video out because it's some part of his worst. You know what I mean? But it's amazing to see how, you know, people are putting in the work and the time and being creative, and everyone, and it's great. So it gives me something to strive after. Like, hey, I don't know if I can ever do amazing reels like Craig, but you know what? I'm sure damn how going to try. I'm going to step my game up. And it's awesome to see that, you know, small breeders, big breeders, everyone's got their own little forte and their own little thing that sets them apart. And not everybody has to be the same way. But it is hard.
I want to bring up something Bear said. He said, honestly, I want people to follow me because I'm making cool shit. And that's true. And then he said, cool snakes, not content. And this is where Nikki would say, Craig, your cool snake is content. And so I would send her a picture of something. She'd say, "That's great. Post it," you know, and so a lot of the stuff we do, we just don't think is good enough, or we don't think it's interesting enough, but it is to somebody. And so going back to the thing where I have a hard time following someone if there's no pictures of snakes on their you know, wall. What is it? You know, and feed. Yeah, I would I have a hard time following them back from this account, because this account is all about the animals. But yeah, I think the regarding the standards, start with what you have. Start with a phone. Start with a phone and idea. If you're making a mistake, then you have something to share. So if you're making mistakes in your husbandry, if you're making mistakes in your pairings, in your animal choices, that means you're learning. And then someone else, you can keep that mistake from being someone else's mistake if you share it. And so everybody's got something to share if they're learning. And you don't even have to be right. If you're not right, you'll find out quick. But at least put out what you're learning, and then you'll learn more from the comments.
And to be honest with you, if you don't like it, listen, after a while, if you don't like it, you can delete that shit. Don't know.
Yeah.
If
That's
it's
right.
bothering you that much, like you're like, man, I really hate this picture. You could just get rid of it. That's one thing. Like, the internet is pretty much forever, but your Instagram doesn't have to be. So you can kind of change it and it'll be all right.
I like what Craig said. Craig said that post it because somebody will like it, or it'll be interesting to someone. Because I get that all the time. Oh, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to post my racks because they're not Freedom Breeder or ARS. Oh, I don't want to post this snake because it's not really high end. Okay, well, if you're waiting to have snakes or content that is next level, like all of us big breeders, you're wasting 2, 3, maybe even 4 years of content, and you may not even get there. And what Craig said is, not everybody can compare themselves to say myself or my collection, some of the animals I have. But there's more people that can connect with Malamine racks, PVC racks, first year breeders, single gene. There's more people in the medium or the mid grade under than there is in the top tiers. And if you're going to wait to only post top tier stuff, you're wasting years of content. And so many people can relate to you. Oh, I did this, and then I had a crappy thermostat, and now I went to Herpstat because this happened. Oh, it happened to me too. Yeah, I'll never use those. If you only post
people
the best,
like watching it come up.
What's that?
I've seen, so I like watching the come up. Like, I'm sorry, I just read one. I was just gonna say that before. Like, I like watching that. I like watching when people are like, or even when they show you that before and after from before, and they're still growing. They're like, oh, this was before, this is now, and a year from now they do it again. This was before, this was then, this, and they just this growth. People love that stuff. I love seeing when someone's like, I finally got my first rack, or I finally got this snake, or whatever it is that they needed.
I love those driveway posts where you see the Freedom Breeder, the ARS box at the end of the curb. I'm like, finally got my first. Oops, getting all excited. It off. I love that. That's how excited I get, because it's like, wow, they're believing in themselves. They're investing in their animals, in their business, and it's amazing to see them do that, because it's a huge step. And if you're not documenting stuff like that, you're for me, I even look back 3-4 years. I'm like, damn, like, look how different the facility looks. Even for myself, I can see change. If you're not documenting this, imagine you do this and then 5 years go by and it's like, oh, I'm going to start posting all my good stuff. Well, how did you start? Dude, I used to have this. It would have been cool to see a picture. And I like to go back and look at old photos. And what's funny is some of the Facebook memories. You look back like 6 years, 8 years. I'm like, damn, look how heavy I was. damn, look how, 10 years ago, man, look, I was super fit. Wow, look at those old racks. Look at the old facility. Oh, I remember when I made my first one of those. It's amazing to see that, because you can see where you were and where you are now from all the hard work, dedication, learning, and involvement in yourself and your animals and your business. And other people can see that too. And other people can relate, going, oh, these guys are having amazing animals and they have PVC. Oh, wow, I thought they'd have all this. No, people can relate to so many other people, not just the high end stuff. So don't be afraid to post. And I think Craig said it best. Somebody will show interest in it or can relate to that. And I think more people can relate, in the lower end of this industry than the higher end.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
like you
somebody,
said, it's a big deal. It's a big deal getting that freedom breeder or ARS or whatever. It's a big deal, and
It's an
you'd be surprised
accomplishment.
how many people like feel that with you. They're like, oh,
Yeah.
I remember going for, like, that's not, it's a shared feeling.
Yeah. I even
Yeah,
love it when someone,
Bethany had a comment that I wanted to touch on real quick, because her comment was, how do you handle the criticism? Because when you're first posting stuff, you're not going to have everything correct. You're not going to, your husbandry might be off. You might have a dirty bin.
post it up.
And yeah, just post it. And then if you have something seriously wrong, you're going to have to use that as a learning experience and work through the quiz.
Can you
Yep,
put
I can
her,
go back and put it
thing
back.
on? Yeah,
Yeah.
click it up
Got it right here.
You'd
Got
also
it
be
right there.
surprised how many people contact you
privately.
and
Yeah.
they'll say, hey,
Mhm.
by the way, I saw this picture you put up. You might not want to do that, and also XYZ. Like that's something that a lot of people will do. They will take you to the side and talk to you.
Yeah. But what I
On
like about
Inst-
this, go ahead, Craig.
I was just gonna say Instagram's way more positive than Facebook.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes.
Fact.
Big facts.
So when and I get this, right? Now, one of the reasons why my Instagram, or especially my YouTube, it's raw, it's cut, I don't edit it. You get what you get. If you open up a drawer, and I even did that at the beginning, back at the old facility. Oh, guys, don't freak out. There's a little Peter Poo in the corner.
I remember.
Yeah, and the funny thing is because I literally had people message me, and this was before Patreon. Hey man, I just want to reach out. Like, I really love doing this. I got a lot of animals, and I do this with my family, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And I'm like, okay, well, explain to me what's going on. Well, every time I go down, I work, and I come home after work, and they're peeing and they're pooping, and and I'm like, okay, well, it's like, well, what am I doing wrong? And I'm like, I don't understand. Well, I watch all these other YouTubers, and everything's perfect. The water dish is perfectly clean. There's no pee. There's no poo. Everything has a perfect shed. There's nothing wrong. What do I need to do? And I'm like, stop watching these fucking videos and comparing yourself to them, because it's all fucking staged. And if you have any animal, it'll pee and poo. That's healthy. You want them to pee and poo. And a lot of times too, we clean those cages, and they're scenting them within an hour of you cleaning them, So it's like the YouTube was, hey, look at this, look at this, look at this. They were showing all the beauty, all the perfect, all the, they weren't showing all the space here and below. And that's where I found where, hey, I got to start doing it raw. I'm opening up a bin. Hey guys, this one has stuck shed. This is what you do. Hey, this one here, this is that. Because it's going to happen. I didn't want everybody believing they were in this, oh my God, my animal's pooing all the time in the tub, and I got to clean it. And all these big breeders don't have to do that. Oh yeah, we do. A hell of a lot more than you do.
They made it look like
Realism.
Made it look like TV cribs. It's all perfect.
Yeah.
You go there, the day after, or on a weekend when you weren't scheduled to come. There's a mess. The dishes are on the counter. Like, it's staged. And when people were And I get it, because it's live animals. They don't want to sit there and go, oh, what am I doing wrong? I want to make sure that my animal's healthy and I'm doing things the best. And you know, and I get it, because they were worried about the animal. But you know, going back to her question, I would just do what you do, and don't worry about other people, because as you know, I have 2,000 snakes. I can guarantee you, I can go back there. There's at least 200 or 300 that have shit in their tub. And if not, I'd be concerned. Like, you know, and that's what they do when you feed them, and you know, you clean them. They don't go on to the bathroom on a schedule when you ask them to. You know, they do it random. So people in this industry that will criticize you are the people that have no idea of what's going on in real life, or that they don't experience it. Because I don't care. You could have a collection of 30 animals and you clean them today. You go there tomorrow, there'll be pee and poo in it. And if not, the day after there isn't, you're going to have an issue. Find out why they're not going to the bathroom. So just be real. And people that want to jump on you because of that, they just don't have the knowledge or the experience. Now, if you open up a tub and there's 4 different sheds and multiple poops, that is an issue of husbandry by all means. Okay. You know, I can't help when I open a tub and he pooed on the wall and stretched it across the side of the tub. Some of them perfect, some of them all over. It just happens. But I'm not going to be that guy to open it up and go, oh, guys, I can't show you this one because he pooed weird. No, that's going to happen. I show it. I'll show animals that have stuck shed, you know. I'll just be real, because it will happen. And people said, oh, you know, there should be no reason for an animal to have stuck shed. I have climate controlled rooms. I have perfect racks. I have humidity temps. I have animals that shed all around it, but this one has a stuck shed every once in a while. You know, all my animals eat except this one skipped. They're not perfect. They're not fine-tuned. They're not scheduled to be perfect. You will have things that, you know, don't eat or don't poop or don't shed or stuck shed. There's no way you can have 100% efficiency at everything. It's just not possible.
Yeah, and if you're going to compare yourself to something like that, the saying that I always use for perspective is comparison is the thief of joy.
Yeah, thief of joy.
Yeah. You're comparing yourself to something that's not real, first off. And, you know, like in most of our cases, we've got jobs, we've got kids, we've got
a life.
Yeah, we have a life. It's not our main business.
Your rats. I mean, you know, a lot of people.
According to Instagram, rats don't poop.
Ever.
Because you never see, the only time you see a picture of people rats is when they just clean the tub.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you're me and you go back to the beginning and I'm holding my cute little rats, and without a doubt, I'm always holding one and it's pooping while I'm holding it. Look at my cute little rat. Oh, there it goes.
I mean, I get it. Like if I'm going to show or do a video on rodents, I'm going to do it the day after I clean them all. But I'm not going to go and because, let's do it the day we're supposed to clean. Let's do it when they're as filthy as possible on the worst time. No, I'm going to do it the day after I clean them all. But I guarantee you, when you open up any tub, there's going to be some of them that have soiled, you know, some worse than others. So,
yes.
You know, there's been a lot of talk. There's been a lot of talk about melamine racks and stuff like that in the chat, because I think that really touched the nerve, what Billy said. And it's like the snakes don't get together and say, yeah, I grew up in a melamine rack. And the other one's like, oh, I was in a freedom breeder, you know, and it's and I think a lot of times there's this concept of, you know, being okay with small beginnings. You have to be okay with small beginnings, because if we go through life wondering why we can't, you know, if we go through life saying, I'm not going to be happy till I catch up with Billy, well, that's kind of a bad expectation to set, because I'm never going to catch up with him at what he does. but I can figure out what I do, you know, and I can find my lane, and I'll never be able to catch up to Billy. I'll never have Angel's experience, because I didn't get into it, 20 years ago or whenever you got into it, Angel. So I'll never have that. So all I can do is say, well, 20 years from now I will, and so it's like all you can do is like Mike just said, be the best version of yourself. Just find your own course, and don't be like, oh, I'm so ashamed, I'm sitting here with this, subpar setup. No, that's not how it is. Everybody understands, it's sort of like you see someone in a limo. What is it all? The only thing it says when someone steps out of a limo is that they had $70. That's all it says, and it doesn't, there's nothing more important about them. There's nothing special about them. It's just, they happen to have $70 at that time and they bought a limo,
It's true. I think we forget too that you start your networking when you are buying your snake. So it's about like how you're talking to people on Morph Market also, or wherever you're buying an animal from or your reptile from. It's that communication you have with someone.
Yeah,
absolutely. Your network can start right there.
And
your
you
network 100 can start right there with that first breeder that you contact on Morph Market, and you start that relation. And the next thing you know, that person might be like, oh, if you're really into, you should check this guy. My friend of mine, he's got this. And even though you're not in the same state or wherever country, even like you start this relationship all because you just talk and ask a question to the breeder you just bought a snake from.
Yeah, I think everybody has their own, idea of success. You could have 2 racks with the animals and the projects that you want to work with, and you're successful. I got 10 clutches. I'm successful. You don't have to do 200. Oh, if you don't do 200 clutches, you're not successful. Says who? Everybody should have their own idea of a realistic idea of success. And when you get there, it's like, oh, now let me push myself. Let me work harder. Let me do this. And you'll grow to where you want to go. Like now, I want to step back a little. Instead of just keep going full throttle, I want to step back a bit. And not only just for, the reasons of producing, I want to start getting time for myself. Because I've been go for 12 years. Now I want to step back, and maybe I'll do that for a year or two and go, no, fuck that, man. I'm going to hit the gas pedal to the floor. I like the way I was, but I don't know until I do it or try. So that's where I'm at now is I've been here. I'm going to come back here, and maybe I'll go down, or maybe I'll go back up, or maybe I'll be happy and content there. Success is what I want and what I feel is best for me, not somebody telling me, oh, you got to get these racks, you got to get into this project. And when people are pushing you to do that, I don't think they've got your best interests. You really got to, I do think people should push you, but not tell you what to do and how to do it and where you need to be. I think they should, kick your ass, get your ass off the couch, or say, hey, listen, you got to apply yourself more, or do this. And, but I don't think someone should be telling you, you need to be here in order to be relevant. I think that's a crock of shit.
Yep.
I think so too.
Or you have to have X amount of animals to be successful, and you
Yeah.
have to have.
Oh, Craig, I can't
incentive
believe you spent
rats.
money on those other animals when you could have put them into more ball pythons. Oh, I can't believe you went and did this. Oh, the amount of money you spent on your fucking stupid, your camera equipment and your podcast. You don't need that. You can use your phone.
Craig's
Yeah.
I just got this one. I didn't even need it.
Yeah. Why are you spending all that
It's
money
fun.
on that? It's fine. Like I'm just using my Mac right now. I don't even have my fancy setup yet. It's sitting collecting dust. I got to hook it up, but I'm just using this. So don't waste your money on that. Put it into more snakes. No, that makes you happy. It's something, don't let someone tell you what to do with your money and what you want to invest in and stuff. They should be there to help you and support you, not tell you how to do it or anything like that. And I think so many people say, you got to do this, you got to be here. Like Angel says, you got to have this many number of animals in order to be relevant. It's fucking horseshit.
I agree with Nikki. The first way to develop really great relationships is through commerce. And when you're going to meet when you're buying animals, you're going to meet a lot of breeders, and you'll learn something from those communications. You'll learn some of these. You'll have some communications with people, and you'll go, man, you know what? I'm never doing that to someone, because that made me feel like crap. And then you'll have some others that are like, man, I want to be just like this guy. I'm gonna answer my messages within 5 minutes, just like this guy did. You know?
Yeah. An important, obvious takeaway, right, is etiquette goes both ways. You know, in this business, especially if you have a bad sale with somebody, that's going to get around eventually.
Yeah.
Just don't be a dick. You know.
Yeah.
It's true.
Don't be a hemipene.
It's true, because you show, and like when you do shows, you often you're gonna do shows with the same vendors over and over again, and we all talk to each other. And if I had a bad experience with X, Y, and I see him over at that other table, and I see that vendor's face, and he's all or she there having a bad experience, like we're all gonna be like, yo, you know that guy? Like, oh man, like it's just a thing. Like no matter, you gotta understand, you go to a venue or a place like that, and you're gonna behave a certain way. He talks. No matter what place you're going to, the vendors are gonna talk. You know, and you could. I don't want to say like get banned. You're not gonna get banned, but you know, you're gonna be like, oh, where's that guy? Oh God, like, and it's
So
it's
give
just
them a
thing.
good
It's
story to
getting
tell.
better.
Yeah.
It does.
And a little bit of kindness goes a long way.
Yes. Talk to
Right.
everybody. Talk to everybody. It's good, you know. But if you're on either end, just try to be as professional and polite as.
Yeah.
I agree. Well, this has been a great hour. I've enjoyed every second of it, and I could think about 3 more hours that we could talk about all of this. But I think I hear Cleo in the background having a time of her life. Is that her?
Scoring, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. This is
I
a
want to
blast.
put one thing out.
Of course.
I wanted to ask. Consider how I need to get better at my networking and social posts and all that good stuff. And Billy, you're trying to get back into it.
Yep.
How about once a week, me and you do a reel together? Just do 2 old guys in the hobby talking shit. Just once a week.
Oh, yeah, fuck it. This little guy can talk shit all the
No,
time.
I'm just,
You know?
or, you know, that's the thing. Like when you know, trying to get back into it's always hard, or trying to get onto the routine of doing it is always hard. So
I
if
like
you
that
have
routine.
If you have somebody
Routine.
else, it's because it's a
true.
routine. You got to get into
It is
routine.
routine.
So,
That's key
and
word there.
if you or if you or someone you love are having trouble with their routine, reach out, because those of us need help. Like I definitely needed to really appreciate, you know, Nikki and Kurt really helping me. So the thing, if you and you reach out to us for, you know, for if you have questions too. You know, I'm still learning, so you know, I'm happy to listen.
Yeah, I can shoot the videos. I can get it all done. It's just the time editing, getting it done. Like, you know, I remember, 3 years, for about 2 years, I pretty much did a video every single day on YouTube. Every day we did a live stream. I mean, a video for like 2 years, every single day. Now,
Left or right, egg cuttings.
oh, we had and I do want to bring it back slowly, like the thing, like I'm gonna have this content and this work there, add more. But now that I got somebody that can edit the videos and be creative and add a little bit more flair, and make them more unique to each situation, but not take away that raw Billy. I don't want to sit there. Oh, Billy said the F word. Well, we can beep it, but Billy's on a rant and he's probably said it 1,000 times. We got to beep, 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 beep. Who the fuck wants to hear that? Like,
sounds like Morse code.
Yeah, you get what you get with me. I don't want to lose that, but I also want to up it a notch. you know, because I got guys like Craig and Steven from Leviathan. Like, you know, I can't keep putting out the content I did years ago in this new era. I just can't, because it's like, look at this old dinosaur, man. Like, what the fuck? Like, they still make shows like this? Like, no, I got to step it up a little, but I don't want to lose the rawness of me. You know, I make mistakes. I you know, I'm human. I call pieds clowns, and hey, you know what? I think that's, you know, oops. Like, but I've also had so much on my plate, and now I'm leveling it off, and I'm starting to do it right. And I think that I have so many people's like, hey, Billy, you know, I know that you have this one video. I mean, I can't find it because I know you did it probably 4 years ago. And if they can't find it, they might not be able to save that animal or get through that issue. I want to have it where it's better. They can find it. And I want it more in depth. So I want it more of like a production, like Steven does, you know, where it's like, you know, it's not all over the place. And I really want to step up my game, but it is going to be coming soon. But having somebody that knows what they're doing to give you guidance and help instead of trying to do everything and learn it yourself. And that's why one thing is I love that, you know, Craig and with the help of Nikki and Kurt, they're putting together these things on the Reptile Network of how to up your game and helping other people step up their game and with, you know, and advice so that it's there, and hopefully somebody can take that advice and utilize it to grow with it. And I think that's it, sharing information, sharing ways to do things, and helping people that might do it wrong or not want to do it at all. You know, just giving them that incentive.
Well, on that note, if you're on Instagram and you do want to talk about cameras or mics or audio or editing, send me a DM. We've got a private Instagram group called the Reptile AV Club. And the only requirements, be a reptile keeper and want to improve your videos and your audio, and don't be a hemipene.
Wow.
That last one's very vital.
Very,
Yeah, it's
you
very
should get
important.
those checkbox, like when you join a Facebook group.
Yeah.
Why do you want to do this? Are you this? Are you a hemipene? You know,
Yeah.
you got to check them off in order to get the okay to get in the group. From the
But we've got 30 some people in there right now, and we talk about cameras and we talk about different kind of ways to record and different kind of ways to edit, and but mostly we want people to get started where they're at. And if you've got something that you're learning, like I said before, you've got something to say, and we want to hear it.
Yeah, no, it's awesome.
Yep. And then if any of you in the chat are free next weekend, we're going to have our In Your Circle episode with inked lady morphs and lace balls
Awesome.
and unlikely morphs. So it'll be fun
Awesome.
having all of them together. So.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I'm looking forward to it. I gotta say that I'm I speak for a lot of people, but I'm really looking forward to see what you're bringing, as well as you, Craig, because every day, Craig, something new. Like I can't. I'm telling you, like I really appreciate it. Time you pop up on the feed, I'm like, oh, like a little nugget. Like I got.
Thank you, Angel. It means a lot.
Like it does. It makes me smile. I tell you to your face. Like it makes me smile. I see that. I'm like, oh, it's time to listen. You know, it's good stuff, and I appreciate it.
So hold on a second. You just wait. You don't have your alarm go off to fucking say, hey, go look for it. Come on, man. You're
It's the first thing
slacking.
I see when I get up. Boom,
You
he's
gotta
right
set it.
there. I wake
Come
up. Craig's
on.
face is right next to me, right there.
It's like, bring. Today's the day. Go
I
to
just wake not
Craig's
even a ring. I
day.
wake up to his voice. It's just very calmly. It's beautiful.
Oh, come on. Come on.
There you go.
Loki.
Come on.
I wake up beautifully every day.
There you
I
go.
love you guys.
I might
This is
have to
great.
do that. Hey, Craig, you know what I need in your amazing audio equipment?
Yeah.
Billy, wake up. It's time to get up. That's what I want. I want that soothing radio
Start telling-
voice.
I'll do that right after I start doing audiobooks.
There you go.
There you go.
Time
Greg
to wake up.
Greg ringtones. There it is.
Seize the day. You got this.
Oh man.
awesome. No, I mean, thanks for everybody popping in the chat, and always a pleasure to be alive with amazing people.
Aw, thanks,
And
Billy.
Yep.
And Doggy.
She woke up.
She did. I'm sure you could hear her snoring after we got Dagger Mike under control outside.
That's the clown's name.
It is the clown's name.
Yeah.
Doing that.
Yeah. I'll post a picture and you guys will all, Craig knows, you will understand why our porch is terrifying this year.
Cool.
Anyway.
I want to see it.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Thank
It's been
you.
great.
We'll do this again someday because it was a blast.
And don't
You
be a hemipene.
Don't be a hemipene. With that, here comes
Unless you
the
want to suck at
outro.
networking. Yeah.
Then be a hemipene.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Through the ups and downs, we stay strong. In your circle, that's where we belong. Lifting each other all day long. In this family, we can't go wrong. In your circle, we rise and fly. No drama, just love, we reach the sky. Support and shine, keep the